I think I'm live. Yep. Is it? So if my sound is okay, I need to kill another speaker. Hi, good evening. So now I think it's working. It was working like a minute back also, but there was another speaker somewhere on, so I wanted to check that. Hello, good evening. How are you guys? And tell me what's up and what are your issues in terms of planning for CAT 22. This is a session for that, and a very simple plan at that, right? So before I get started with my ideas, I just want to hear from you guys. So let me know. Drop a hi, do a sound check, and then we'll quickly dive into what we want to discuss today, right? So the idea is that in 90 days a lot can happen, right? You pick up a sport and you start from zero and you play 90 days continuously, there will be a drastic difference in the way you play the game, right? So a lot can happen in 90 days, not only for your CAT 22. If you want to pick up a new habit, they say it takes 21, 22 days of repetition to get into, get some momentum going with that, right? So 90 days as a commitment to a project, and 90 days is a long time, and you can see a drastic amount of improvement in your skill set, whether you're preparing for CAT or playing basketball or let's say trying to learn music. The pursuit doesn't matter, but it will make a huge difference, and I'm talking about consistent 90 days, right? Not studying one day, not studying the other day, and getting distracted for 2 days, attending a marriage, watching the World Cup. Not that kind of an approach, but let's say a serious adultish approach, even though a lot of children have also tried it in their lives, in terms of knowing and picking up a project and chasing it consistently for you can't do it for 10,000 days because there will be something happening in life, but 90 days is a reasonable enough window to think of and have it under control, right? And get a checklist going, right? So that is what we want to do for today. And for today, I mean, specifically, we're talking about CAT. So the idea is also that, okay, I have a limited amount of time. So how do I maximize my returns, right? How do I make sure that I'm doing the right things and not getting lost in things which are not going to pay off later? So I want to ensure a high return of investment as well. And essentially, the plan is based on the test pattern as such. Not that I'm a believer in following the pattern and working on your approach, but the for example, reading comprehension is a very big section, right? It is a whole section, and most of it is about reading only. Even the vocabulary part, the grammar part is gone now, and it's all part of just your reading and comprehension and critical thinking skills, right? So I know that if I work out that one section, that one skill only, because there's no syllabus as well, right? It's not that I have to go through a list of formulas. So if I figure out that one skill, even if it takes me 25 days, 30 days, 40 days of consistent effort, but once I break through, I know a big chunk of the test, like one third of the test is taken care of. And even if I compare it to, like, let's say maths, right? So many different topics, and maybe 80, 90 days can just go in maths prep as well. So what is it that I want to prioritize? Can I get a whole section in 30 days, or do I want to just follow the syllabus blindly, right? So those are the things that we want to work on. Okay, so let's dive into starting with very quickly what the pattern has been, and it has been consistent for the last 3 4 years. So before that, there used to be a lot of changes in CAT, a lot of surprises, but more and more it is becoming like GMAT, a very standardized test. You know what to expect. And in the recent pattern, even including the 2 years of COVID where the time was reduced, the recent pattern has very much where the most important topic has been arithmetic. So what is the topic that I want to definitely prioritize is definitely arithmetic. And what does arithmetic mean? It means ratios, percentages. Percentages means percentages, profit, loss and discount, etc. Then we have averages and weighted averages, and we have time, speed and distance. Now you'll say time and work, which is very much part of ratios, or you can connect it with time, speed and distance. So arithmetic itself, excuse me, I should slow down. Arithmetic itself is made up of 5 major topics: ratios and variation, percentages and application, averages and weighted averages, and time, speed and distance, and time and work, right? And it is a lovely, beautiful topic and a lovely journey to encounter. So, and look at the number of marks. Out of my 22 questions, 11 questions, like that is half of the quant section, is arithmetic. And arithmetic is language driven, right? Like it is almost always a story. Two people were working together, they were planning to finish a task in certain number of days, and then this happened. Or Ram and Sham's salaries are so and so much they spent on expenditure. So it's language driven, and it can be a super fun topic as well. So not only in terms of, if you ask me, okay, what is the most fun topic out of all of these? I mean, everything is fun, I would say, but personally, even for me, my favorite topic, because there is so much playfulness that can be, and so many methods that you can take to solve the same problem. In algebra, it's very standard. In geometry, it's very standard. You have the rule, you apply it, you'll get the answer. But a lot of creative problem solving is also possible in arithmetic, right? So what I'm trying to say is, first of all, a quick revision of what we can look at in terms of the test paper. Only 2 marks for number system. Back in the day when there were 50 questions in the exam, number system used to be 10, 12, 15 questions as such. It used to be a big topic. But right now, as of now, it has become 2 marks. In fact, I would combine algebra and number system together and think of it as a next big topic that if I want to work on. Are we okay so far? Drop in a yes, because I have a tendency to go on, right? So I have limited amount of time. I might be working, I might be distracted, I might have college and other activities, and I still want, because it's a test of aptitude, pressure management, personality in tough situation, and it's also about picking the right topics or picking the right questions as such, right? So number one QA topic that I want to prioritize is definitely arithmetic. Yeah, are we okay so far? Question is, can an average student clear in 90 days? What do you mean by clear, right? If you get, let's say, 97 percentile in CAT, and you get calls from, let's say, SIMB from Pune, would you not take it? Because I know people from SIMB. SIMB was a great college. I mean, it's not as good as IIM's maybe, but it's a reasonably good college even 20 years back, and by now it has grown definitely. So you get CAT 97 percentile in CAT, and you do very well in SNAP. Would you take that call, right? Would you go to that college and then have a very good career after that? Yes, you would, right? So what do you mean by clearing? It's not a black and white situation. It's not a do or die, right? There's a whole shades of possibility. You might be looking at, I'm looking at IIM A, B, C only, right? So then I'll ask you, why are you looking at IIM A, B, C? Are you an engineer from IIT who's already like a very topper, cool person who's like, okay, either I go to these colleges or I'll go to Ivy League in America, I'll go to Harvard or Kellogg's. But so these are my choices, right? So a lot of times there's a lot of emotional declarations. I'll only go to IMA. But then reality check is, why do you think you're so good that you, I'm not saying you're not good, you can be, right? But then in terms of what are your school grades? What is your college, in which city is it, right? And how much have you, what have you done there? What have you done about your personality? Or have you just woken up because some coaching class has told me, yo bro, it's possible, you can do it and whatever, right? So average student, can I crack CAT in 90 days? Yes. What I mean is, you start now. in 90 days I can guarantee you personally a huge amount of improvement, right, in terms of how you think, how you approach the problems, what is your general overall skill set and personality if you finish the plan, right. And let me tell you, not many people do it. A lot of people do planning, but when it comes to doing, it's very, very difficult. Though it's not. You just have to. Uh, in fact, people realize it much later when they are 28 or 29 or 30. Oh, I can learn something and I can change my life drastically in, let's say, a short period of time, right? Because maybe by that time they've had enough disappointments and now finally angry and they're like, now I am done with being the way I am and I want to improve my lot, so I'll change, right? So, but at 22, 21, a lot of kids might not have that mindset. Life is easy, somebody else is paying for everything, and culture has also changed into a state of kind of everything is okay. Um, okay, so what I'm trying to say is that if you do 3 hours of study for 90 days, I can guarantee you a very bright future in your life, right? What happens in CAT is kind of irrelevant. So not only CAT, there is CAT, there is SNAP, there is ZAT, there is NMAT, and then there is in future GMAT also. So somewhere you will start. And what if I say, somebody was asking me, is it possible? If I say no, bro, in 6 months is not possible. So what will you do now? Will you not start studying? You will say, okay, it's not possible in 6 months. That am I saying it's impossible? No, I'm saying it's not possible in 6 months or 5 months as such. So you will say, okay, I'll do it next year. But for next year also, you should start now only. Try this exam first, right? So the question is not as digital as कि क्या मेरा हो जाएगा. सवाल है कि होना क्या है, शादी करवानी है, बच्चे पैदा करने, क्या चाहते क्या हो आप, right? क्योंकि there's a whole spectrum of possibilities and all of them open up with this one topic. If you master arithmetic well, then CAT is also open, GMAT is also open, MHCET is also open. You decide to go for some other university in America, that is also open, right? So, but these skills will come in over and over and over and over again, right? So you have to master reading. You, no matter what B school you go to, there's a lot of reading involved. Even if you were not going to a B school, if you said, okay, sir, I don't want to do MBA or anything, but I want to be happy, successful in life, I would say read a lot. So these are things that anyway you should be doing. By the way, these are all school subjects. Ideally, you have, it's not just 90 days. Yeah, this is also another important point. It's not 90 days like, oh, out of vacuum starting 90 days. You are a 20, 21 or 18 to 22 year, 24 year, 25 year person who's been to 6, 7 years of school, right? Who's been through at least, who's seen, have heard of, okay, there are aptitude tests. There are some of you who have already been through an engineering test. So they already have put in a lot of effort in a lot of these things. And on top of that, I'm saying that even if you have not done anything before, if you assume all of it to be zero, still a lot of work is possible in 90 days, right? So I hope I have answered that question, that is it possible? Yes, it is possible, but I don't know who you are. And I'm not casual enough to just say, yeah, bro, it's possible, go for it, because later you will come to me only, you know. So I say, ki, you start and forget about the outcome. Your Granthas and Gitas, what do they say? Focus on the action and don't worry about the outcome. This is the action that is kind of needed, right? So, and again, everything is vague. All of this conversation is vague. The only truth is the actual course and finishing it, right? Why is it vague? Because 90 days, how many hours a day are you kicking in? I know for sure, I used to run a classroom program. A lot of my students would typically were, most of them in fact, for the kind, especially at this point of time, June, July, they were students who were free all day, right? So they would come to the location and they would come at around 10, 11 in the morning, stay till 9 p.m. in the evening. They're reading a book, maybe playing a game in between, also attending one maths class, doing a little extra work outside in the library, and they're spending 5, 6 hours. It's not high intensity work. 2, 3 hours is high intensity, 1, 2 hours is reading the newspaper, a little bit of chit chat also with each other, etc. Watching a documentary on the library computer. So then your days are longer and you have a lot of time, right? But if you're working and you have a serious job and you're also, let's say, happy at that job, right? That means you're working that extra 1 hour also to make everyone happy and proceed further in your career. You might be coming back from office at around 9, 9:30 and then you will try dinner. And then you have to wake up again at 8 o'clock in the morning. So your 90 days are going to be very, very different, right? So everything is kind of subjective. But if I assume that you do 2 hours, 3 hours, जैसा बचपन में करते थे, 2-3 hours of studying in the evening, I have fixed slot, and you do it for 90 days, a lot can happen. If you are free, if you have time, your college is over, you're only preparing CAT, then fantastic things can happen in 90 days, right? Then a lot of stuff can happen in 90 days. Also remember, these days resources are not locked away in time. If I joined a coaching class 10 years back, I would get one class one day, then another class next day. For now, if you go digital into a system, you have the first class and the second class and the third class all there. So if you want to do it, you can finish a topic in a day or two, which a lot of you have done at one point or another. A lot of times people finish a topic in 2 days, but they can't continue it for a month, right? But if you can do it, I can promise you drastically different personality, your overall personality will change in 90 days as such, right? So right, so I hope I have answered that question. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Is it possible? No, it is not possible. Depends on who you are and also what you believe. If you think in 90 days so aise nikal jayenge, so then there is nothing is possible. So also whatever you believe comes out to true. Now, if I am thinking of a 90-day plan and I know arithmetic is 50% of the test, can I not even give it like 30 days out of those 90 days? So even if I take 30 days to go for arithmetic, and I said there are 5 topics, so I go for 6 days per topic, right? 6 into 5 will give me overall 30 days. So even if I give it only 6 days at 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours as such, I can finish a big chunk of arithmetic in, actually my improvements would have started happening in the very first day, very second day only, not even second day. First day you start, by the end of the 2 hours you will feel okay, yeah, changes have started happening, right? And as you spend time, okay, so you build a foundation, you take your time, you learn ratios very well, even if it takes 5-6 days, right? The next topic you do, percentages, is so much of ratios that once that foundation is there, the next topic will go slightly faster. You move on, and then you're also used to the system, you've also figured out your own habits. The next topic goes even faster, right? So definitely my priority would be arithmetic. And arithmetic, there is a order, ratios, then percentages, then so on and so forth, right? My next, so okay, I'll make arithmetic even bigger, right? My next big topic should be algebra. And algebra and number system are kind of very well connected as well. So definitely algebra. And then if I have the space, I can go for geometry or in fact I'll go for geometry rather than number system. But again, as of now, I'm already picking topics, but ideally there is enough time to do all of these. As of now, you can finish all of them. There is plenty of time. I have a detailed 90-day schedule posted as well. I'll share the link again and share it on screen as well. But if I'm talking about priority, okay, what should I do first? Okay, I'll do arithmetic definitely. And it doesn't matter, it's not about preference, ki, oh, I like arithmetic or I don't like arithmetic. I have to do it because there is such a big chunk of the exam is arithmetic, right? And even if you're thinking of 90 days preparing for CAT, you will certainly find that NMAT and SNAP are going to be very, very easy for you, or any future such test is going to be. GMAT you will find fairly easy after that, right? And then my third topic would be geometry and mensuration, which again in recent exams it has there was 3 questions, 4 questions, but just a couple of years back there were 5 questions as well. So it's not that I can leave the topic. Can I leave any topic? No, not really, because I mean, for example, modern maths and PNC, if you spend 5 days, 6 days, right, 2 hours a day on modern maths, you will see that you have mastered 80% of it, which is fairly easy, reasonable, logical. The very difficult 20% maybe you don't need to do also, because you know it's going to be difficult if that level of question comes. So can I just ignore modern maths? No, because we are also working on our analytical skills. We want to sharpen our muscles, because finally the test is about problem solving, right? It's about thriving under pressure. And when I go to DILR, some basic counting problems will be there or might be there. So having those basic permutation, combination, counting skills as such will definitely come in handy. So am I saying ignore the topics right now? No, not at all. But let's say if I had only 40 days, I would say, okay, give arithmetic 20 days and give algebra 20 days. And why am I saying I have only 40 days? Because people do come and say, oh sir, I have only started now, I have only 40 days, what should I do? This is what you should do, right? Simply based on the target that you want to hit. The target is heavily oriented towards arithmetic and algebra, right? Ideally, do everything, there is enough time for that. Are we okay so far? Drop in a message, right? Uh, I'll also take you through Telegram. If you are a new member, find the Telegram link in the video, in the description box below the video. And what I want to do is quickly take a look at this 90-day schedule as well, right? Is there, explore the Telegram channel and you will find it in no time. I'll post it again and I'll pin it on top of the page as well, right? So if I look at the plan, I hope it's visible. Day 1 to 5, ratios and variations. Now, in terms of planning, I've said, okay, ratios and variations, but then you will also be reading the newspaper in the morning and working on your vocabulary in parallel, right? But if I focus on maths, and in the beginning, the goals are simpler and they get tougher as you go along. So, okay, give 5 days to ratios and variations. Now, some of you will require 7 days, 8 days, and some of you will do it in 3 days. So, it doesn't matter as long as you do it well, because there's still, there's still a window of time, right? My next topic is going to be percentages and applications. Now, why this order? Why am I not starting with algebra? Because once I start with ratios and variations, percentage becomes easy. And once I do ratios and variations and percentages, big chunk of DI, in fact, it has again a topic that has reduced over the years, but I have to prepare for it, and DI you will find is mostly ratios and percentages. So the path is also designed around getting as many marks under your belt in the beginning only, right? Like, or in as short as a time as possible, rather than waiting till the end of it. In fact, in this plan, I have said RC fundamentals on day 25 and 30. I would actually move it to day 1 and 5 only, because again, RC is such a big chunk that I want to improve in it as soon as possible. Because say if I do 30 days of dedicated RC learning, right, and we'll talk about dedicated topic learning as well, and that means I'm done with one section. The remaining 3 months, I can try and master the one of the other two at least, right? And then I will have 2 under my belt. So prioritizing, you can find the schedule on the Telegram page. I'm not going through it right now. Let me first go through the test as the way it stands right now. So now, if I look at the verbal section, it says reading comprehension, parajumbles, summary, and for some reason people call it verbal ability and different from reading comprehension. It's not. It's just reading comprehension only, right? The primary skill that you're using is reading and critical thinking. Whether it's you're organizing a parajumble, or you're finding up a answer in a big passage, or summary, which is nothing but a small passage. So write it down somewhere, the whole verbal section, because at least in maths, the various topics are very different in nature. Arithmetic is language driven, geometry is completely shapes and figure driven and based on certain rules, algebra is symbolic in nature, but this is one topic only. Not only that, this is such a topic, a skill which is needed for life, that I work on this and everything in future gets sorted. If I become a good reader, I'm sure you have heard that all the CEOs, leaders in the world read a lot, right? Some of them might not be reading, they might be talking to people, but then again, it's about gathering information. So not only for the exam, but for life, this is such a valuable and entertaining. These set of books that are behind me are not for any exam, right? These are all mostly for my entertainment and growth, right? Like, I read something, I learn something new, and my personality expands further. So I definitely have to master reading. You don't master reading, you can say pretty much goodbye to the test, right? Because without this section, you're not going to make it. So now, how long for reading, right? How long does it take to improve reading? Now, again, this is not starting in vacuum. Have you been reading the newspaper for the last 1 year or 2 years as such, right? Ideally, you should have started in school. I mean, you can't go back in time and change the past. But let's say a lot of you have started in school. They have been reading for a while, right? Some of you are encountering English for the first time. So obviously plans will differ again, but if you went to an English medium school, if you have been reading the newspaper and you can read at a sentence level, I can promise a drastic improvement in reading skills in 21 to 30 days, right? That means whatever are the tools to understand better, actually they can be learned in 5 6 days, extra 25 days, so that those skills are practiced over and over and over again, right? So that they become part of the body, they become part of your system as such. But 25 30 days are good enough to and again, what do I mean by 25 30 days? Like, not half an hour a day. When I say 25 30 days, that means I'm pursuing reading comprehension only, right? That means I'm thinking about it all day long. I do one passage, I work it out, I analyze it, I get tired, I take a tea break, but then I'm back to thinking of the second passage. I'm not changing that topic, right? So even in, like, if I look at the schedules also, one day there is ratios, next day there is, I mean, I'm talking about a classroom kind of schedule. The next day there is percentages, then there is a reading class, and then there is a percentage class again, and then 2 days later there is a reading class. That kind of scheduling is totally pointless, right? It's not going to achieve anything. So you have to become an adult and say, okay, I'm thinking of the VARC section. Let me give it 25 30 days of dedicated mental space, not doing it one day and then not doing it the other day, right? What it means is, for example, if you go through the basic playlist on YouTube itself, and you will learn skills immediately. You will see in front of you, okay, there is a skill, and I know for sure that you did not know it beforehand, and definitely it is helping me comprehend better, see the data better, right? But can you internalize that skill, right? Because okay, cover drive works like that. You just have to hold the bat like this and point it straight. But then the different kind of bowlers come, so you need some practice before you can say I've mastered the cover drive, right? But you will see a drastic improvement in your perception just by finishing the basic 3 4 videos as such. I can promise you that, right? In fact, when I started the session, somebody was talking about that. So the day I started watching your RC videos on YouTube, I could see a drastic amount of improvement, right? So I really do mean drastic improvement, and that also in short period of time. So if I say, okay, what are my best bets so far of quickly improving my score in short period of time for CAT, is going to be, okay, let me master arithmetic and let me master reading comprehension. If I can master these two, I'm already almost halfway towards my goal, right? So yes, reading comprehension, 21 days. You give me, forget about 21 days, guys. I can guarantee you, give me 7 days at 2 hours a day. 1 hour means one full cat passage workshop. There are like hundreds of, no, not hundreds maybe, but approaching towards 100 workshops or so. And 1 hour, one passage. You do 2 passages a day. That means the way I analyze it, and applying all the skills. And after 21 days, it will become part of your system. Of course, there will be lots of different kinds of passages, some tough, some easy, right? The other part of reading comprehension mastery, a lot of people think of RC as one topic, right? But RC is made up of what? RC is made up of reading, some reading skills, a lot of words and familiarity with the ideas of the world, right? What is happening in the world, and have I encountered these ideas while reading the newspaper or essays before? Even if I have not done that, do I have a reasonably good vocabulary so that whatever I read makes sense to me, right? Because if I don't know the words, it's going to be very difficult to read. So definitely the other two parts of reading comprehension are daily verbal improvement habit, that okay, I'm on a lookout for learning new words and ideas, because words are ideas, right? I want to learn new ideas all the time, and therefore all the words are very important to me till my vocabulary becomes very, very good. So a daily, and this is the fun part of it, you're watching a movie, and in the movie you hear a word and then you stop and find out, right? So So you're learning via whatever you're encountering, and you can have a lot of entertainment or fun while doing so as such. The other part is critical thinking, argument analysis, or let's say logic with language, right? So again, a dedicated section for CR. So I say, okay, for the next 6 days, I will stick to critical reasoning, short form CR, and I will do 50 critical reasoning questions back to back, and I will only do that. Okay, I will not dilute my focus by doing, okay, let me do half an hour of DI and then let me play tennis also and get some family love also and then meet my friends also, right? It's not going to work like that. I mean, who knows? It may work like that also. God decides everything. But if I'm talking about people who want to break through a wall, right? Okay, I have, this is day 1, day 25. I want to be different the way I am right now, right? So, and the courses, at least I designed them like that so that you dive in and you come out like a different person altogether, right? So definitely the second most important, no, not the, this should be the most important topic. I started with Quant because traditionally everybody starts thinking of Quant only. They worry a lot more about Quant rather than verbal. Everybody thinks they know English, right? Because they can read something. It's not like, okay, I don't know a maths problem. It's like, yeah, I can read it. Oh, answer I marked wrong. Oh, that happened. Oh, that was just, English is subjective and poetic. So because of that, right? So people have a lot of fear and respect for Quant and they don't have it for verbal. This would be another reason why I would do a lot of verbal, because people are not going to do it. They will stick to Quant, they will waste our time, a lot of time doing every topic in Quant and every possible detail, and they'll find random difficult questions. The teacher also busy finding random difficult questions because the teacher wants to show you, oh, look, what a math genius I am, right? So he's always, and that guy has been doing maths for 20 years, right? The same questions over and over again. So he has over analyzed it and he's looking at more and more kind of shortcuts rather than just having clean basic maths, right? Don't do that. Prioritize what is your goal. Is your goal to become another maths teacher in the coaching industry, or is your goal to head to a B school, right? If your goal is to head to this B school, this is the barrier in between, and all you have to do is open the lock. You don't have to break the door down, right? So reading definitely, and then I would prioritize Quant skills. Also because if I think of DILR, which is the next topic, without that solid foundation of Quant work, a lot of DILR work is going to be difficult, right? It's not that maths is needed in DILR, it's simply a matter of concentration, working with basic calculation for a longer period of time, right? So that stamina building definitely will be helped by QA, and that ratio, percentage, basic counting. Algebra will not come in the DILR side, but counting will come. Basic ratios problems will come, right? Especially in DI. So, so that would be my other. Okay, now here it says that smoothies, bar graph, arrangement, but these are very misleading names, right? It's just maybe I'll do a separate session for logic altogether. But as of now, logic has become the most difficult section, right? A lot of people say that this logic has become very difficult. In fact, if I talk about cutoff, solving 2 sets, right, or doing around 8-9 questions was enough to push you beyond 98-99 percentile. So what that means is that it's difficult for everybody, so you don't have to worry about it. Secondly, start with knowing that it's difficult, and then once again give it due respect, and okay, again, can I take it like a challenge? What is the issue? And again, if you want to break through, let's say if you're the kind of person who's like, okay, I've already managed maths, I'm okay at English, but this is, I want to go to, I'm A, this is one section which is stopping me. How do I deal with this, right? Not like a general prep, again 2-hour ratio, 2-hour percentage, 1 hour of grammar, and then 1 class of DI, and then next class of DI 1 week later. Not like that. Again, so you log into the course, there are 100 challenges, and you don't stop till you finish, right? And will you finish? Yes. If you stick to it, you will definitely finish, because the solutions are there. It's not that they're not there, right? So everything is there, the problem is there. You take your time as much as you want, you watch a little solution, try it again, watch a little solution again, try it again, okay, watch the whole solution, next day try the problem again. But again, it will require a dedicated commitment to the task. Think of Virat Kohli, right? Find out how he trains for a match, or in any of these top cricketers and sports people, or in any find the top dancer. They are giving it hour after hour, day after day, them giving them minute after minute. It should be the other order: minute after minute, hour after hour, day after day, month after month to that skill. I am only asking for 3-4 months of work. It's not like a lifetime of work, right? Musicians, for example, they practice and it takes them 20 years to attain mastery, and nobody gives them any special value also after that. But mastery is what we want to achieve, not a formality, right? Because a lot of people are doing a formality of, okay, yeah, I'm appearing for CAT, right? Yeah, and I've joined a classroom and this is what happens there, and I do what they tell me to do. That is just not sufficient. Again, it's not black and white. What is sufficient also depends on you. But the idea again is that, okay, I need deep dives into topics, right? So unless you're very consistent, okay, I have made a plan that only on Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays I do DILR, and then other days I do something else, and I need a break as well. If you're disciplined like that, great, but even that will require consistency, right? Because what happens is, let me tell you, like personally, if I learn something, if I start learning something and I'm enjoying it, right, I don't want to stop. If I'm playing basketball and I learn something, I want to play as quickly as possible. Unluckily, other people will only come after at 5 o'clock, right? But if I had a hoop near my house, I would just keep practicing more and more. I would meet my friends, but I would always be hurrying back to play more, right? The Tendulkar's whole life story is about that. He just kept running from one stadium to the other, one field to the other, playing balls after balls, right? So the idea is, once you say, okay, this is a personal challenge for me, I want to take it on. Obviously, all of this assumes that everybody has the same kind of mental capacity. Maybe it's not true, but let's assume everybody has the same human brain given by the galactic universe, and we can learn. Our principal assumption is that. And then we say, okay, I want to master this topic. And nowadays resources are available. In any good course, you will find 50, 100 DILR cases solved at least, right? How well they are solved is a different matter, but it's there. So that's the challenge you have to figure out, and support is available. When I had to solve these DILR 100 cases, I did not have the support because there was no solution, right? So sometimes might take a while also. But that's what is needed. Okay, my first day was very slow, which is fine because I'm learning. But I saw that if I kept doing it, by the third month of doing so, it wasn't new. Whatever happened, I mean, even the most difficult problem, I knew, okay, it will get solved because I've already solved 50 of them, right? So that would be my way for DILR, not worrying about it too much, but definitely giving it a dedicated 30-40 days of, can't do 30-40 days directly, okay, do. Okay, let me try 2 weeks of DILR, right? 2 sets every day, CAT quality only, we're talking about CAT. Don't waste time with the old DI cases, they're completely pointless now, nobody's asking them. But CAT quality, recent kind of challenges, I try them, and there are enough CAT only, forget about the coaching material also. In the last 5-7 years, there are enough CAT questions only, just stick to them, try for 14 days, see what happens, right? And this is where I finally come to that the issue is not the subject, the issue is us, right? The issue is our schedule, our timing, our priority, cousin's wedding, IPL matches, then the T20 World Cup, India is going somewhere, something is happening in news, some dandiya is happening in my society. The topic is not the problem is our not even our ability, right? The ability is there. I guarantee you that, right? The ability is there. So it's basically consistency. Can I give it? Can I come show up day after day, day after day, day after day? And it starts with showing up. Once you start showing up, automatically improvements will happen, right? So that would be the idea. Are we okay so far? Right, so in Quant, I want to master arithmetic and algebra. I definitely want to master reading, but the good part is it's not formulas or various chapters. Once you master reading, once you understand how it works, all the subjects open up. Philosophy, art history, geopolitics, science, high technology, science of history of art, all put together, zoology, everything becomes easy because they're all English words and they're all structured the same way. So one key, 1,000 locks open up, right? Uh, and for DILR breakthrough, I want to do, let's start with, okay, forget about 100 also. Let's start with 25, right? That means 2 weeks of work. And again, now I will go backwards. Okay, you will say, I can't even do 2 weeks. Then I'll say, start today, do one set, and then again tomorrow, start again, do one more set, right? So that is for absolutely somebody who's like, oh, I can't do it. How would I do it? Then I will take them on the meal, like the spoon by spoon feeding, right? Like, oh, don't eat too much, just eat this little bit. Oh, done, well done, come on. And then the next day something else happens, right? Though I'm not in favor of that too much. So I hope this is making sense. I hope you understand that first of all, 90 days is a long time. I promise you, you try it out, try 90 days of consistent work, and forget about 90 days. You will see improvements in your muscle in 7-8 days, right? And it's okay if after 8-9 days you lose one day, it's okay. If you like lose one day because it was raining and you went with a friend on a picnic and you came back late and you were tired or you were sick or something happened, fine, no, not a problem, because the other day you can push also, right? You went for 14 days straight, you want to take a 2 days break, great, not a problem, right? You in a week you want to go 5 intense days and 2 light days, great. But you have to, now it's a horse, right? You constantly have to be on top of the horse. That means घोड़े की लगाम आपके हाथ में रहनी चाहिए, आपको याद रहना चाहिए पूरे टाइम कि this is what is my goal, this is what I am pursuing. I'm not saying you should, because it's a very stressful career. The test is stressful. Once you hit the B school, is going to be stressful. What's the good part? The good part is money, lots of money, but nobody talks about the stress as such, right? So I'm saying if your plan is this, and oh, forget about this, cat. If you said, okay, I want to play basketball, what can happen in 90 days? I would say, bro, a lot can happen in 90 days if you find a good trainer and figure out how to learn fast as well, right? Which is another topic that we'd work it. So, okay, good. So, ask me questions now. Quick 5 minutes of questions, and then we'll proceed further, right? Any quick questions? Okay, great. So what I'll do is I'll stop for now. This is also just, let's say, getting started and waking everybody up and saying, okay, time to get serious. And no time to panic also. Panic can happen 2 years later, right? Once 2 years have gone by, let's see what, and then look at life and complain and panic as such. As of now, I should not have time for emotions and feelings. In fact, 90 days, when I talk about a plan like this, guys, I also mean saying no to friends, saying no to family, because family will say, come, no, let's eat a little ice cream and have a little dinner. You say, no, I have things to do, right? Saying no to yourself maybe also sometimes, because your brain will say, let me watch one more episode, right? So, how to make it fun is and I mean, once you dive in, once you find the focus, the topic itself will become fun. It would not, I would not even have to say, guys, oh, once you hit an IM, oh, there'll be so much money and you'll be happy forever, which is, money has nothing to do with happiness, or remember that, right? Start with that. Become happy anyway, right? Start with that. But it will require a change in personality. Going to college and then hanging with friends in the cafeteria, and then later hanging with other friends, and then talking to other friends, and then going home and doing some work, and then watching, maybe binging a series back to back. I approve of this life. I wish I could all, I mean, I would love to live life that, right? But if you want to achieve things whenever, wherever, you will have to sacrifice other things, right? I'm not saying you should sacrifice other things, but if you want that goal in the sky, then you'll have to do something, right? And then once you start, then teachers will appear, methods will appear, secret techniques will come, hazar ways of improving your life as such are there, but that decision has to be made, right? And Never do tomorrow. Don't think, okay, okay, good speech. Also, by the way, I do not like these planning sessions, right? Because everybody enjoys them, right? Ah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, 90 days, 60 days. Oh, yes, arithmetic, accurate. And then they will again start, go outside, meet their friends, drink tea, watch a TV show, waste time, etc., right? So, planning is easy and doing is difficult. Start the doing. And if your brain is saying, no, oh, yeah, tomorrow I'll start, that means your brain is tricking you. Believe your brain only when it says, oh, I have to go now and study, right? Like, even if you're maybe in the middle of a party or something, you say, ki, no, yaar, I have to go now only, because my own experience is tomorrow never comes. Because if you say tomorrow, tomorrow something else will happen. So believe yourself only when you become desperate enough to say कि आज अभी जाना है और अभी मेरे को start करना है. And these days you don't even have to go anywhere. It's all there in your phone. Go to the browser and you're into the system. Sit under a tree and you can start learning. You can also stagger your learning. Learn a little in the morning, learn a little in the afternoon, learn a little in the evening. Put a lot of breaks in between, but don't put long breaks between the topic as such, right? So, yeah. Okay, I am starting with a new VARC live batch. We'll announce it on the Telegram thing and will come to YouTube as well. In fact, a lot of those workshops will happen. I mean, I'll announce it enough in advance as such. But there is a VARC reading comprehension crash course kind of a thing. The whatever the course is already loaded, but on top of that, around 21 days of daily RC workshops, right? So I'll announce that soon on the Telegram. Look out for that. Right, okay, so let me just stop right now. I hope this is enough to get you started. Go to the Telegram page and I'll share this again. Uh, forward, 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 forward to, okay, forward to feed. So I posted again and I'm pinning it again. I've done it twice, I think. And I'll pin it again. And again, this is not like an ideal or perfect schedule or anything like that. It's just a guideline and a list of topics. Okay, these are the topics that you have to do. And now, out of these topics, what are the most important ones? That's what we have been discussing. That in, I mean, ideally, I would love it if you just did everything. I would have loved it more if you started like a little early and finished comfortably everything, right? But as of now, I say, okay, what are the priorities? These are the priorities that I have to work on. Okay, so that's it for now. I will see you very soon. I'm doing a little vocabulary session tomorrow. Hopefully, the same time. I'll share the link earlier and what is the idea for the whole workshop before the workshop starts if you're on the Telegram page. But this will be a fairly regular thing. However, again, I am very reluctant about live, right? Why? Because everything that is needed to master these demons and conquer these goals is already there in the course. Now, if you're saying that, okay, I am looking at the toughest exam, I've heard it's a very tough exam in the world, and but I can't study on a daily basis, then that's just contradictory. You have to come to a level where whether my work is already done and loaded there, right? And if you're saying that, oh, I want a 1 crore salary after 2 years of MBA, but I'm not willing to study on my own till the teacher comes live and studies with me, there is a problem there, right? So that means it's time to grow up. You're looking at a very serious course, a very serious career, a very stressful future career. So you have to kind of become a powerful young adult right now who's willing to do a lot of work on a daily basis. Oh, I will come only when there's a daily, like a little motivation thing given to me. I mean, I can tell you right now, it's not going to work because nobody can supply it from the outside. Even if I show up every day, even if I put 5 posts every day, till it is part of your system, it's not going to happen. And as soon as possible, make it a part of your system, right? That means I have to finish everything. In most, if you have signed up with any of the good courses in the world, courses are loaded already, waiting for, I'm not saying I will not do it, but I find it problematic when somebody says, ki, oh, I need you before I can start studying. though I'm preparing for the supposedly toughest exam and I'm aiming for a very high percentile, right? So let's consolidate these two ideas. Okay, enough for now. See you very soon. Don't worry about it. I'll catch you up on almost a daily basis, right? That's it for now. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about it, hit the like button. Uh, love is a two-way street. Okay, bye.